Well, being here and listening to great stories, inspirational stories from different women, so unique and so special. Listening to their journey in the tech world makes us ponder on how the world would be when it's full of women and they're all taking up the tech occupations. It would be a tremendous and an awesome environment for us, and not having to worry about the boy child and the girl child at that, and thinking about the social and economic transformation of the nation. Welcome on board. Make sure your seatbelts are so fastened, because it's going to be a wonderful discussion or conversation as we continue to celebrate women in ICT right here at the National Broadcaster. Well, we want the women to be enthusiastic and to really get to know it's an interesting world out there for them, not only to earn, but to make a world a better place to live in when it comes to the tech world. Well, Monday has gone, Tuesday is gone, we had great episodes. Today is a beautiful Wednesday, the 29th day of March 2023, and you can expect a special edition of Women in ICT. And now today I'll be joined by Agatha Katangaza, a software engineer by profession. She'll be letting us know more about herself and the right pronunciation for her name. And of course, I'm also having another great lady, that is Kayesu Rita, embedded systems engineer. They're here to share stories and how they're related to the tech world. Welcome once again. Good morning. My name is Sandra Kahunde. We are live from Broadcast House, Nile Avenue. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to have you. And now we'll start straight into our conversation. Let me see. Well, anyone can shoot, letting us know about yourself and how you're related to ICT.
Okay. My name is Kayesu Rita. From Fort Portal City. As a girl, I used to like numbers, and I used to like mathematics a lot. I used to relate a lot with my math teachers from Buhinga Primary School, and then Fort Portal Secondary School, and then Chebambi Girls School. And when I was at A level, I wanted to be an engineer. I didn't mind whether electrical engineer, civil engineer. So I did physics, entrepreneurship, and mathematics, and I did it a lot because I really wanted to be an engineer, and the only way to be an engineer, I had to do those subjects very well. And at university, I did a bachelor's of computer engineering at Busitema University, and it's what I really wanted, and God helped me to achieve that. And after university, I dived into embedded systems engineering. Mm-hmm. Yes. An
interesting journey it has been for you.
Yes, very interesting.
Okay, we shall be getting to know more about that journey. I'll getting to another beautiful lady at the extreme end. Yeah. How is your morning, and how are you related to ICT?
Yeah.
Did I pronounce your name right?
Yes. Katangaza.
Katangaza.
Yeah, Katangaza Agatha. I'm currently a product manager at Ensivco Tech Limited. We do software for SACCOs, microfinances, and savings groups. By profession, I'm a software engineer. I studied from Makerere University. So what I literally do when I talk about product management, someone watching might wonder what is that. So a product manager, we work in teams, we call them Scrum. We have developers, we have the designers who come up with the UI, that's the interfaces we see for software, and then the product manager leads the team, relates what the technical bridges the gap between the business or the user requirements and the company strategy, and translates all those requirements into what the developer will implement. So business and technical, but I enjoy that technical bit. Was inspired by my high school teacher and relatives here and there. Take the technical side. Yeah.
Wow. Great story. Well, maybe you talked about working in a team, exactly what you do. And I believe you've also come across that particular environment that you really had to work in a group. We cannot deny that the tech world is not so much, is not dominated by the men themselves. They take up a great percentage. How has it been like for you having to deal with them? They're part of the team. You also want to stand tall. Have you had those moments when you really had to prove yourself? You know, to put in an extra effort to stand out?
Yes. Personally, I work best in teams. I think it comes from school, because with mathematics you have to have a lot of discussions. So I've been working great with teams and working with, because the sector is really dominated by the male, it does not deter the ladies from doing what we do. But how do you do it? I have a friend who says, do everything with excellence. So I learned something from her. Because we are in a male-dominated sector, like as a lady, if you do not work with excellence, then your skills or your work will not be recognized really at all. So what I do, if I'm working in a team, because I do electronics and programming, I program physical things, like I can program lights, I can program a motor, I can program something to move. So if I'm in a team and I've been told you're going to head the electronics sector, if I am heading it, how am I heading it? I have to do it with a lot of excellency so that I stand out and people be like, oh, this lady's doing this right. That's how I go about this sector and how I do my work.
Okay, and at the end of the day, they really have to appreciate.
Exactly.
They're like, we were looking at her and we're like, she's tall, very slender. What was she going to offer? Amazing.
Exactly.
Well, Agatha, how has it been like for you having to deal with those big muscles?
Yeah, dealing. The truth is that it's a men-dominated industry, and from the customers to the teammates, majority are men. So one, you haven't developed a thick skin, for lack of a better word, because the men's jokes are not like the women's jokes. And but still they are cooperative. They want to push it to be better. So you don't have time for, where girls, I studied my high school in girls' schools. So girls always have that time of sitting and throw self-pity parties. But with guys, it is different. They are less emotional, yet also still emotional in one or the other. So working with boys, they have been supportive. They push you to be better. They tell you, you're here with us, but you have to think fast and you have to be better. So I can say it is a beautiful experience. I have moved faster with working with men, and they motivate you to do better. And they also resonate within one or the other. They see you like a young sister, yet even though you can be their leader, but you have that, they're so empathetic because they see you, in my department, we are 3 ladies out of the team of 17. So
out of a team of 17.
Yeah.
So the rest are men.
The rest are men. So they're empathetic, but they still push you to do better. Because men can burn the midnight candle to finish a task. For ladies, it's different. You have to reach home, you have to organize, you have to do this. In the morning, you don't wake up and run, you first do your hair. So they push you, have to think, you find ways to compress your other nitty-gritties.
Sometimes they have to sit in for you at some point.
Yes, yes.
Well, did you get to be that moment of like, it's a lonely journey, maybe through campus, and getting into the industry itself? Was there a point you felt like it's a lonely journey as a woman in tech?
Yes. For me, I really haven't met ladies who are doing exactly what I do. So I've been looking for mentors, and I've got mentors, and I'm in mentorship platforms. So it got a bit lonely where I needed to learn a new skill.
So tell me, are the mentors all men?
Yes.
Most of them are men?
All of them are men.
When you kept looking, you really wanted to work with a female?
Yes, I really wanted to work with a female because, as ladies, I relate more with a lady. But still, I got men, and I don't...
Did you get emotional?
No, I didn't get emotional.
Like
because
you're like, why aren't we there? We're supposed to also be at some reasonable percentage.
Yes. So after getting male mentors, this is what crossed my mind as like, okay, I haven't been able to get female mentors, so I have to be the mentor after being mentored.
Amazing.
Yes, so that's what I'm working towards too. After being mentored, after going through the mentorship program, I believe I'll be able to mentor other ladies. I will really look for ladies too who really want to do embedded systems engineering, and I'll look for them in any way that I can, and then they'll also have a female mentor to look up to.
Well, you're here to share the tips, eh?
Yes.
I am sure the viewer out there would love to get to know and also understand what exactly it entails around the embedded software engineering. Just moving to Agatha, did you get lonely at some moment?
Not really. So from high school, the physics class was not that big, but majority of us did engineering. So, and from my class to campus were 3 ladies, and we kept discussing, and we finished on time. And even when I went to my workplace, my first job, we were still girls. So I've never felt the loneliness, but I've always desired many girls join the industry. So that we can increase in number, because girls as women, we have a gift. We pay attention to detail. So if you find your team is dominated by men, they miss out those nitty-gritties, and you're going to deliver, you find this is missing. So you find you're spending most of the time as if being their class monitor, and they're passing you things. First look through before I submit. So my desire is to have many women on board, and as she said, I've had to take on young girls to mentor them into the industry.
Yeah. Wow. Kongs, salute to you. Well, Rita, just getting to know what's in your work, your position, what exactly do you do for someone out there who's trying to figure it out? Which kind of course should I do? Should I go for civil engineering in the tech world, tech space?
Okay. For me, I did computer engineering, yes. And in a computer engineer can be a software developer. They can work with networking, where you connect cables, internet, you put internet like in an office space or what.
So be climbing the...
Yes, and then there is also embedded systems. And in embedded systems, we work with electronics. We make electronic circuits. We design circuits also on a computer. And then we program how those electronics are going to behave, so as to achieve something. For example, if maybe the simplest, maybe I want automatic lights in a room, okay? So I'll have to collect requirements needed to make the electronics. How will I connect the bulb to with wires to the system, and then to the board which I'm going to program, where I'll put my instructions. So the programming comes in where these are the instructions you're going to make to tell the bulb, at this time, go on. At this time, go off. When there is little light, or maybe the sun is, the curtains have been put up, then the bulbs should go on. So that is embedded systems. And the example I've given is like at a lower level, but as you grow, you make bigger systems. You make sensors, maybe to test, it is going to rain at this time. How do you test what happens with the humidity? So now that's going at a higher level, but that is all embedded systems.
Okay.
Yes.
And for someone who wants to be like you, to be like Rita,
yes.
do exactly what you've just explained. What are some of those programs they need to attach themselves to, you know, on a daily? Some of the basics, because you say there's the lower, and then you go higher with experience.
Yes. From my experience, I did internship from Fundi Bots. Yes, when I did internship from Fundi Bots, I learned the basics of what an embedded systems engineer should know. And the basics are, you learn programming, and then electronics. Those are the basics, and at Fundi Bots they provide that training.
And how long is the training?
I did internship for 2 months, 2 to 3 months. It is a long time ago, I don't remember very well. I did internship for 2 to 3 months, and then after internship, I came back to Fundi Bots as a volunteer, so that I continue with what I had studied during the internship. And through my volunteering process, I learned more things, because at Fundi Bots they give you time to also learn self-development through learning. So you learn how to program with different languages, programming languages, and then they provide you with the equipment that they can afford, so that you learn how to come from the level they reached you at during internship, and then you go higher and higher. So that is basically what
embedded systems is all about.
Electronics programming.
Quite interesting.
Yes.
I think every time you wake up in the morning to go to work, you don't feel like, oh God, it's yet another day to go to work, and it's stressful.
No.
Okay. Oh, Agatha, how is your day-to-day like in what you do in relatedly to ICT?
Yes. I can say it's exciting. I always look forward to the mornings. I love what I do. So to our dear viewers, so software it's not tangible, but it's like the mind of the computer. Without software, then the hardware can't work. That computer will be a desktop, will be like a TV.
It'll just be there.
So it is
on
the
table.
mind. So software has helped us to bridge the gap, or it's like a vehicle. So I have a need. Let me pick an example of agriculture. I have produces, the season has ended, I have the yields, but how do I take them to the market? How do I get knowledge on for my coming season? How do I save? So there's a problem, you have the solution, but you don't know how you're going to execute the solution. So software comes in to bridge that gap. And it is a backbone. I can say it is a backbone of most of the businesses. We experienced it during COVID. That is when I can say there was a technology revolution after COVID. Literally, governments, businesses were breathing technology to survive. And after that, we realized we can't live without technology. I was
just thinking about it. Can we really live without it? Looks like it's going to be a day-to-day thing.
It's our day-to-day thing. So, so for me, in particular, I work in finance. So every industry has software behind. Every sector, agriculture, medicine, name it. So I work in finance, and these we call them the unbanked sector. Those our grandmothers in the village that meet weekly and do the saving, and then they keep their money in boxes. The circles that you go and register in a book, you come with your passbook and
at the end of the day, you can even run away with.
Yes, exactly. So we saw that they had a heart to save. They wanted to give out loans, but how can we make their processes better? So we first did an infrastructure, which we can call information management system, where we take off the books, and you come. Now there's a teller. They register if it's a SACCO microfinance. They send you SMSs to remind you to pay. Now you've completed your loan. You can subscribe more. You get your loan schedule on email or SMS for the sector that doesn't have smartphones. So after we have done that, realize still there's another problem. As a SACCO member, can't I deposit? Can't I move money from my mobile money to my SACCO account?
Instead of reporting.
Instead of me traveling, removing that inconvenience. So we built another layer I can call the financial services. We bridged the gap again, as I've said. Technology is like a vehicle. We take you to your destination. And now we've linked them to banks. You've linked them to mobile money.
So every day I'm imagining you need to think so hard. It's like a creative industry. Every time you need to be thinking of something new, creating new avenues.
Yes, you have to create new avenues. And the other challenge with technology, it becomes obsolete very fast. At one point, if you had a Nokia phone, remember in high school, if you had a Nokia phone, you overwrite, right?
I know.
But right now,
back then,
every year, iPhone is releasing a phone, and it becomes obsolete. At one point, we used to say, Uncle Google is the answer. At campus, Google was it.
Just
but
ask
now
Mr. Google.
Yes, right now you're in the chat GPT. So it evolves. So as someone in technology, you never arrive. Every day is a challenge.
Before you realize you just land yourself, you lag behind.
Yes.
You need to move with the trends.
Yes, yes. You become obsolete and you're replaced. You're replaced. So it keeps you on your toes. That's
so there's a lot of research.
Yes.
For a tech person, there's nothing like sleeping.
Yes. So one of the first things I do after I've had my devotions and I've gone to office, the first thing, I read what is trending in technology. How can we tap into this industry? Because as a product manager, you have the vision of that product. And you have to also communicate to the exec that now, you know what, this is changing. Can we change the strategy? Otherwise, you're going to become irrelevant.
So that there has to be a cash flow.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, through it all, with the experience you have, what are some of those projects, exciting projects that you've come up with? Or maybe the projects that you've heard about that have been innovated by women, you know? Let's share them. Or it could be a project that you've done yourself and it was really exciting. Or maybe you've had a woman out there, like you're looking for mentors, maybe a role model, and you could just share it with the viewer.
Okay, the first exciting project I did, it was my final year project. I really enjoyed working on it. It was an automatic vehicle refueling system with electronic payment. It was a prototype to show that that is possible. You can go to the petrol station and then the fuel is just put in your car, of course with the help of sensors, and then you use a card to pay. That was so exciting for me. I did that project with a lot of love and I felt a lot of joy. And the women I look up to in embedded systems, so I think, okay, most of us in ICT, especially the ladies, we've watched Hidden Figures. Yes,
Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures is based on a true story of 3 black women that worked on the...
It's a movie?
Yes, but it's a movie based on a true story. The 3 black women who worked on the first spacecraft that went to the moon. And then, yes, so those women inspired me a lot, and as of now, really, I'm looking for female mentors, but I look up to those ladies because they worked on that craft with a lot of love, okay? A lot of love, and nothing stopped them. Remember those days, there was a lot happening, and remember there were ladies and black ladies, yes,
and there were black women.
Yes, but you know, they insisted, they had a lot of resilience to work on what they love and what they wanted, and they won it all. Yes.
Well, I know for sure. Someone looks up to you and you're like, Rita is my mentor, yeah? So you should stop looking and keep the fuel and the candle burning. You'll be a role model for someone out there. Some of those exciting programs or projects.
Yes. For some, I was part of the team. I joined before in Nsubuga, I was working at Labremas, Uganda, very good fintech, and I joined the time when they were spinning off to start another product called Imata. So Imata gives digital loans to farmers, and I participated. You know how you study and you've done some research about the journey of software. I started the journey from user research, coming up with a design, then launching it, then people using it and dispersing the first digital loan and receiving the payments. Because here the farmers can apply for loans through WhatsApp. So that was one of my first product to start from scratch, and it was exciting. Then when I joined Nsubuga, I started the product of the wallet, the Nsubuga wallet, whereby you enable these women saving. Instead of putting the money in the box and locking with padlocks, then they share out at the end of the month. Why don't we put it on mobile money?
So that they're not even tempted at the end of the day.
Yes, yes.
To hit that box.
Yeah. So for that one, I designed it and worked with a team that was implemented. And later on, we added it to the Circle bit. And now we are soon launching another product where you can now move money to your bank account, from bank account to your Circle, and also to pay your school fees from the Circle, so that even someone in the Circle, they are not limited to have to travel long distance to pay through the bank. Everything can do in the comfort of your home.
You go and line up, eh?
Yes.
Spend like so many hours.
Yes.
Well, to the young professionals out there, someone trying to figure it out, or maybe a parent who wants their child to enroll into one of the occupations, or maybe find somewhere to land and be comfortable, what would your message be, your thoughts for the young professionals?
Okay. For the young professionals, the first thing right now I'm believing in, and it's helping me move forward, is mentorship, okay? when you go like to a certain event, please network and then look for mentors who are in the career path that you want to follow. That's really a good thing because you will know exactly what to do and how to do it. They will give you all the information, and the good thing is that when you network with people, they will really give you an ear. They will listen to you, and then they would help you in any way that you can. So please believe in yourself. Your dream is valid. It is very valid because, like I said, there are very few mentors, and I haven't got any female mentors, but I believe my dream is valid, and the male mentors that I have, they are going to help me achieve my goal, and I'll stick to it. And ladies, do everything with excellence, please. You will stand out.
Keep the smiles and the jewelry and the lipstick and all that makeup and the heels.
Exactly.
But no, you need the determination.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, Agatha, what message or your thoughts would be to the young professionals out there?
Yeah, to the young professions is every dream is valid. Every dream is valid. You need the passion, you need the diligence, you need the consistency for you to achieve. And whatever sector you're in, let it be fashion and design, you have to find a way to plug into technology. As I've said, it is a vehicle. It opens you to the world and shows you the better way to do something. So I've seen most ladies, when they get, not only ladies, especially the young generation, they get phones. The first thing is to install WhatsApp, TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I don't know how it works, but TikTok.
And have fun.
Name it all social media.
It's all about fun.
They think with technology, it's only about social media. But social media is the smallest percentage to what we can offer. So whatever industry in, find a way to plug into technology. And to the young lady that wants to go into ICT industry, the message I have for you, ICT is so wide. Don't only think of mobile apps and websites. There is data science, there is AI, there is embedded system. It is so wide. So take your time, Google, search, as Rita said, network. Also go to people who have gone ahead of you and understand. Volunteer if you're in Essex, VAC, if you've just finished campus, go on those offices and say, I'm here to volunteer. Then you'll get the experience and you will start appreciating it more. Yeah, that's the message I have.
Well, you talked about it's really a lot. It's a lot, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, wow. I wish each one would have something like a portion to grab. What are some of those varieties? Just breaking them down for us, the varieties that are there when it comes to ICT itself. When it comes to STEM, do I just have to be a civil engineer? What else is there for grab?
So STEM is really wide. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Science has biology, it has chemistry, even architecture is by our scientists, because by the time you start designing, you have a lot of mathematics. You have to know the length. Length is measured in what units. That is all science. So there is really a lot in STEM. ICT is part of STEM. It's in the technology part. So in ICT, like Agatha has said, there is a lot: data science, software development, embedded systems engineering, electronics engineering. It is really wide. So I think people who want to dive into STEM, they need to do research first. And also the career guidance that happens at school, it is really key, because you will have some knowledge of what STEM is, what people in STEM do, and then research more about it, and you will see a lot that is there. At
least there will be somewhere for you to learn.
Exactly.
And say to another profession.
Yes.
Okay. I'll just move up to you, Agatha.
Yeah, from what Rita said, for me, I just want to share my short story. So I was in my HSC, I went to Girls High School, and I had two teachers, my math teacher, Mr. Dungu, and my fine art teacher. So my fine art teacher was like, you're so good at fine art, you can be an architect. Then my math teacher was like, you're so good with logic, you can be a software engineer. So,
oh, wow.
So those are the two courses I had in mind. So why am I giving this background? The teachers play a big role in nurturing the next generation. So you as a teacher, you need to be exposed, because I never heard of software engineering. So I'm like, I think what is in softwares? The name sounds nice, I can take that route. So as teachers, you're the first people to determine to determine the direction, because the kids are looking up to you. You're their superhero at that moment. So as teachers, you need to be equipped. Then, as I've said, follow your passion. If someone has guided you, follow that passion. I can't say ICT is everything, but it is it's a backbone to the industries. As I said earlier, it is the air that industries breathe, governments, and whatever sector. So if you're going in fashion and design, if I pick an example, I know ladies love that sector. If you're going to fashion and design, how can I benefit in this technology? I can do the marketing. I can use numbers to make business decision. What have been my sales and what are my expenses? That is data science already. And the good news is you don't need to go to a university. You don't need to sign up and go in class to study. There are online courses, variety of online courses. You can say, you know what, I'm going to take 1 month and I just understand the basics of data science.
Is it flexible, like I can switch, like apparently you're doing something into production. Can you switch and go up and try to get other basics, say for a software engineer?
Yes, you do.
There is flexibility
There
as
is
well.
flexibility. Because when I left as a software engineer, I realized in the industry, we didn't have the managers. Because in class, they're telling you how to write code, and that's it. Then you go in the industry, you find they are lacking the managerial bit. Then I signed up for project management, I signed up for product management, I signed up to understand how data science works so that I make informed decisions. So it is so flexible. You don't need to understand to that depth, but you have the basic knowledge. Then from there you can work with a profession who has
because I don't want the viewer to think it's sounding like rocket science. Oh, they're in another world. Maybe they didn't graduate from Uganda, from back home. They could have done the courses from elsewhere. Yes. Maybe I just getting to the bit where women are not put at the forefront, like those managerial positions. What needs to be done for us to also be positioned at the front?
For me, because most of us join companies as junior employees, yes, but if you do your work very well, you will keep getting to those positions that are high there, because first of all, you have experience of what a junior employee does in that sector. Say, electronics engineer, you know what a junior employee goes through, and then because you have been there for some good time, you are in a position where you can be put now at maybe a supervisory level, because you know, if I'm supervising something I have done, I will know how to like direct them, to direct the employees as we work together. Let's first work on this because it will help us reach this point. So I think as we do our work with excellency, and we will be recognized for your work, of course. And as you're being recognized, you're going high, you're going to upper levels until you reach the managerial positions. Yes.
Well, salute to you, Agatha, for the position you are in. Really, there's too much to it, and there's so much inspiration that comes with it. But what needs to be done for other women to also be at the forefront when it comes to such projects?
Yeah. To the ladies out, the first thing you need to do is first see yourself as a human being. You have a brain, and like other men in the room, you have a brain, and you have a community, you have a team. When you get there, the basics, whether you're an engineer or a doctor or whatever, when you go in a place, you need to learn from the people who have gone ahead of you. If I've entered, we all entered as juniors, that's the truth, as interns, as volunteers. So when you go there, learn from your supervisor, as your supervisor is also learning from their managers. Be diligent, come on time, and also never allow the sun set before you've learned something new. Get a book, read a book. As I've said, my first thing in the morning, I first go through LinkedIn and I read what is trending. I follow some bloggers. You know, update yourself. Make sure every day you're learning something new. Because I've said, this industry evolves at a very fast pace. So
as you go to bed, something can change in the morning.
Yes, something can change in the morning. So the advice is update yourself and get a mentor. Get someone you're accountable to, someone that is ahead of you. Because myself, I have a mentor. by it and says, no, this is wrong, we made this mistake, don't take this route, take this route. Just like in a family setting, how you look up to your parents. And you see how your mom is cooking, and then you cook that way. So the same way, you're not it all, and you've not yet even achieved. Even if you become a CEO, you've not yet achieved. You
You've not arrived.
You've not arrived. You arrive the day you leave the earth. So every day it's to be a learning process.
Okay, wow, good stuff. Well, if you happen to meet His Excellency the President, what would be your words or your thoughts to this industry and how your experience has been all through? Because you want to make your motherland a better place to live in, especially for the women out there who want to grasp or be a part of this special tech environment.
For me, if I met the President today, I would ask for more spaces to be created for women in the innovative sector, because we are, especially in embedded systems, because I'm so much into embedded systems. So I would ask for more space to be created and a platform to be given to more female innovators. Yes.
I'm sure he would really understand your point, where it's coming from. What would your thoughts be?
If I'm to meet the President, first of all, I would appreciate him for having fought for the girl child. I would really first appreciate him for that. And two, I would advise him to start this technology at a young age. Some of us made software at campus, yet the people, like kids in China, start programming in primary. So imagine all those years lost from up to until you're the age of 18 when you're joining campus, and that's when you're learning like software. So I would want him to introduce this at a young age. And even us who are out who are working, I would want him to give us opportunities. Instead of us importing software from India, from China, let them invest in us. We always look for funding from other nations, but let the nation fund us so that we take on those projects, so that money doesn't leave the country, and we be better, and we understand our problems better than that Indian who's going to come and develop the software.
Great submission. I am convinced myself. Well, I'm up to you, Rita. With what you're doing at the moment, I know it's a journey. We're all in transit.
Yes.
We need more women in this industry. Would you say you've been valued in your position?
Yes, I believe I've been valued because... Valued.
Yes.
Oh yes, I have been valued because I've been working with different groups to create systems for different clients, and how I know that I've been valued is because I keep getting more calls to work on other systems. So I believe my work is being seen really, and I'm being valued as an individual doing this kind of work. Yes.
Okay. Agatha, have you been valued where you are?
So much. So much, because if they're giving you opportunities to grow and even giving you a platform on a national television, that means you've been valued.
Amazing.
Yeah, to come here and inspire another generation, that means you've been valued. So so it is also my mandate to also value and lift the hand of another lady out there. And not only the lady, we also need to grow the boy child.
I know, we're mothers at the end of the day.
Otherwise we shall sit at the table alone, eh?
Yeah, we're mothers at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Well, how are you planning to do that? I'm reaching out to so many people. You being a mentor yourself, since it's been a struggle to find one, how do you plan to do it? I'm sure you've already started reaching out to other girls out there.
Through Fundi Girls, there is a community, a Fundi Girls community. I've got some calls from some girls who are like at university, and then they ask me how I can help them in this sector, and I always tell them how they can go about what they are doing in the best way that I can. There is someone who was working on a report, and she was like, I don't know how to write this report. So I told her how to write a report for a project, because I went through the process. I did not give her what to write, but I told her, you have to first do this, and then that this chapter has to come next, and please explain to the detail, because some technical words people will not understand them. So you have to explain them up to the layman's language so that everyone follows through your project. So that is like, I believe I mentored her through the process of technical writing. So yes.
Good stuff.
Yes, so there are ladies, and I have a sister who studies from Mountains of the Moon University in Fort Portal. I keep asking her, are there ladies doing computer sciences that are doing computer science, but they want to dive into electronics and embedded systems? I keep asking her, but I haven't got, but I look forward, because I come from Fort Portal. So I believe there are more girls in Fort Portal who can dive into the sector that I'm in.
So by the time they get to the urban centers, they sink in so well.
Exactly.
And they get the comfort.
Because me too, I started from Fort Portal. By the time I came to Kampala, I was at a certain level, but if I can help them come smoothly from that setting to this setting where there are very many companies, software companies, embedded systems companies, they are at least at a certain level where they can deliver.
And there's a lot of internet access.
Yes.
Okay, amazing, great work. Well, you talked about empowering the other women out there and trying to lift up our sisters and who wants to be like Agatha. How do you plan to do it?
Yes, every time I have an opportunity, I spread the gospel according to technology and moving forward. So the very first thing, even before I tell them about technology, let it be a family gathering, let it be people I serve with in church or anything, they first tell them, you can do more. If you have any question in technology, reach out to me. I can give you time. And even to the interns that join the company, I always take off time to speak to them. What do you want to be? Why do you see yourself? How can I help you? I send them books. Sometimes I feel I'm becoming too much, but like someone else did it for me. So I've not yet come up with like a real program, but if I meet a lady, either a lady or a young one that is ambitious, I always try to pull them and give them time. Yeah. Okay,
I know it's never a journey like you just sail through. It's not a bed of roses. I am sure you've encountered some of the challenges, like earlier on when you started the conversation, talking about being a male-dominated environment itself. What are some of those challenges that have really disturbed you for you to take on this space?
From my
I'm not saying you just end up pinning the government, because at the end of the day it starts with us.
Yes.
Much as we need more government support.
Yes. I don't know, I don't know, but I think this is something that we have unconsciously. When a lady is like in an environment where you're doing the same thing as male, they think you will not deliver, because the teams that I've worked with most times at the beginning, you see the way they are giving you the information, they are not giving it to you up to the detail.
They were like, maybe you want to grasp it.
Yes, maybe you want to grasp it, maybe you don't need it, but when they see you doing your work, that's when they realize, hey, she can do this. So there is that is the challenge I've faced the most with the teams I've worked with. At the beginning, they are skeptical about what you can do, but when you do, that's when they believe that she can do it. So that is the challenge that I've really faced.
Wow. How has it been like for you?
I won't really differ from Rita. At first, you enter the boardroom and you're coming in and they're like, okay.
She has heels, will she manage?
Will she manage? Then when you deliver, she said, then they gain the confidence. So we have not yet gotten to a place where we have built our confidence as women. Probably the ones who went ahead of us maybe didn't deliver to the best. I don't know why they have that idea of, they have question marks as you're starting the journey. So maybe we need to change the story. When they see a woman on that team, they're like, we're going to deliver. We're going to deliver. Yeah.
Well, what are those some of the top skills that one can tap into in this whole sector? Some of the top skills that you cite out for them? I'm not saying this is bad. I know you're so passionate with the embedded systems kind of world. Yes, what are some of the top skills that one would easily grasp or easily, flow in when it comes to tech as a woman?
Okay, as a woman, first of all, even before we go to the tech skills, we need soft skills. We need soft skills. We need to learn how to present ourselves. Okay, if I want to say something, how will I say it so that I deliver what I want to say? Okay, and then when I come to the technical bit, research. You have to learn how to research. Not everything you find on Google is what you should put in your documentation. You have to know how to filter the information that you get. And then when you learn how to research, now we come to the technical bits of electronics and programming. Remember, like she said, ladies, we do everything up to the smallest detail. So you have to do everything up to the smallest detail.
And have the right icing on the cake.
Exactly. Because in electronics, if you connect a wire where it is not supposed to be, you're going to make a short circuit and all the components you have bought will burn out. So you have to do everything up to the smallest detail for accuracy. Yes.
You would love to add thoughts to that?
I will not really differ a lot from Rita's. They are the soft skills that make you outstanding. There's no one who would want to work with a teammate who has a rotten attitude. No matter how smart you are, nobody can take on a rotten attitude. So as a woman, the very first thing you need to do is that when I talk about the soft skills, that the communication, the commitment, the diligence. Can you deliver on time? If someone has given you a deliverable, do you have a plan? How are you going to deliver? How do you rate with people? The emotional intelligence comes in play. There are people in a team, but they're like an island, right?
I know.
And with technology, it's not a one-man show. It is a team. You work together to deliver. So on top of the soft skills, you need to also, you yourself, you need to be a powerhouse in a sense of you need to know what is trending. You need to invest in time to study. And it's an intense thing. It is an intense thing. If you ask a developer, it is intense. You have to learn the language, and also the languages are evolving in the programming world. So you have to be ahead. You can't say, I've now graduated, I'm done. No, you've just started the journey. Yeah.
To add on.
Yeah, feel free.
Yes. So the thing of learning, continuous learning, like she said, new technology keeps coming up. So as you're doing something, you have to learn what is happening right now, because we are working to be global citizens. Okay, if I'm an embedded systems engineer in Uganda, can I also work at a global sector, at a global setting? So you have to keep learning, and learning will never end, because if you remain with the skills which were used in 2019 at this time, those skills will not really work so much. So yes, continuous learning. And then we also have to learn project management. In simple terms, I can call it maybe putting a timeline for your work. By January, I should have done this. And there are softwares to help us with project management. Yes.
I also love that bit, like knowing you will be able to fit in when you get opportunities elsewhere, not only just in your country, Uganda.
Yes.
Wow, amazing. Like they say, a beauty with a purpose, a beauty with brains, a great women right here that we're having for the day. Before we let them go, a word of encouragement for someone out there wants to be like Rita. Rita is pretty, but there's something to eat. I want to be like her. What can I do? A message of encouragement to the young women out there.
To the young women out there, please follow your passion and work very hard. If you do things without excellence, you will not stand out. And for us ladies, we have to work harder, because we need more numbers. We need more more ladies in this sector. So please work hard. Don't just sit on your dream, and be humble. Yes, be humble.
Okay, I'll move to you, Agatha. Someone's like, Agatha is beautiful. She's said so many things, but at least let them remember you for something. They're like, she told me to do this. It would be great for me as well. Yeah, to the lady out there, the first thing is find yourself. Don't be swept by everything that comes. Then after you found yourself, be committed to yourself to be better. I hope it's not so sophisticated, but if I found my passion is in ICT,
you need to put in effort. Excellency is not luck. Excellency requires hard work, requires commitment, and having a teachable spirit in the sense of I can learn from someone. Yes, they could be below you, they could be higher than you, but be ready to learn. Yes.
If you are positioned right, Rita, you're the Honorable Member of Parliament or Minister, and you had an opportunity to reach out to many, what would you start with?
I would go back to the question of asking the President. For me, if I'm put in a good position to be a Honorable Minister, I would really work hard to create a bigger platform and more platform for female innovators. Because I'm going through that experience as an innovator, and I believe there is still something lacking, and that is what I would work towards too.
More innovation?
Yes.
Rita, what would you start with?
If I was a minister, I would start by empowering the local investors, giving them the technology, working on policies that will support the innovation. Because honestly, right now, internet is very expensive. And for Rita, who deals with hardware, importing of hardware is very expensive.
It has to be affordable for her.
Yes, it has to be affordable, but come up with policies that are supporting the investors. We have the brains. Honestly, Ugandans are really brilliant people, but they just lack a few things here and there. So I would empower them and create for them opportunities. Reduce, you know how they say, buy Uganda, build Uganda?
Yes.
It's not only in the commodities, it's also in the services. I would empower our innovators so that we don't have to buy the services from elsewhere, but we buy from Uganda.
Buy Uganda, build Uganda. Not only with the commodities, I love that bit, but also with the services, embracing what we have right here in our region, Uganda. Well, it's special. It has been a special edition having Rita on board and Agatha sharing their stories. With all the editions we've been having right here at the National Broadcaster, as we embrace the women in ICT and celebrate them for putting on that thick skin and putting on the boy pants to fit in has always been amazing. And what I realize is that there's appreciation through it all and through all the levels. Well, we'll still have more for you in store right here at UBC. All you have to do is keep watching and following us on Twitter and YouTube for more special stories coming your way. My name is Sandra Kahunde, and today has been special because of Agatha at the extreme end, Agatha Katangaza, a software engineer by profession. Thank you so much for spending time with us right here at UBC. Well, Rita Kayesu, embedded systems engineer. Greetings to the people in Fort Portal. And thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for hosting me.
Wish you all the best as you enjoy your day and enjoy the tech world.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's all we had time for you. It's been great. My name is Sandra Kahunde once again. Wish you all the best, and keep watching and supporting the National Broadcaster. We're happy to be here and to serve you. Enjoy your day. Salute to my women.